Tonight, the controversial and unproven medical advice for pregnant mothers from the U.S. president. Donald Trump's claims about a common painkiller and autism.
I'll say it, it's not good.
And how Canadian health professionals are pushing back.
If you're a parent, mother who has taken Tylenol, you should not feel guilty.
Canada joins more than 145 other countries.
Canada recognizes the state of Palestine.
Who wasn't there to hear the message as new Israeli strikes hit Gaza City? And Jimmy Kimmel's comeback. The comedian's imminent return, but why millions may still not get to see him on TV.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the medical claims emerging from the White House and the pushback they've received around the world, including here in Canada. Donald Trump saying today pregnant women should not take acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, and linking it to autism in children, despite doctors saying the medicine is safe. CTV's Michael Couture starts us off.
I want to say it like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it.
Flanked by his health secretary, U.S. President Donald Trump took aim at one of the best-known pain relievers. Trump's targeting Tylenol for pregnant women, promoting unproven claims that using the drug during pregnancy could cause autism.
So, since 2000, autism rates have surged by much more than 400%.
Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pushed back against the question, wondering if that rise was because of a better understanding and better ability to diagnose the disorder.
If it were better recognition or diagnosis, you'd see it in 70-year-old men. I've never seen this happening in people my age.
It comes a month after a review of previous data which found evidence of a link between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and neurodevelopmental disorders. The European Medicines Agency has looked at the evidence and decided the findings are inconclusive.
It's turning out that we understood a lot more than a lot of people who studied it, we think. And I say we think because I don't think they were really letting the public know what they knew.
Kenvue, the makers of Tylenol, said in a statement, "We believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise and are deeply concerned with the health risk this poses for expecting mothers." In a statement, Health Canada says acetaminophen is safe and effective for relieving pain and reducing fever when used as recommended, including during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Omar.
All right, Mike, thank you. Now, there's also reaction tonight from Canadian families who have children living with autism. CTV's Adrian Gobriel spoke with some of them today.
When young Luca was just 3 years old, his mother, Christina Kalura, received confirmation that her little boy was on the spectrum.
My thought process automatically turned to not what he can't do, but what he can do.
The Trump administration's medical claim is taking a toll.
And I'm literally shaking as I'm talking about it because it's so scary to think that we're now going to be creating a stigma against moms.
What type of stigma do you believe a mother such as yourself could now be facing?
What did you do when you were pregnant to cause, and I can't even say it, cause your child to have autism?
Kalura isn't alone.
When I was pregnant with my daughter, who is on the spectrum, I didn't take any medication at that time, so there was no Tylenol in the mix, and she's autistic.
Alina Cameron's daughter, Fiona, is 10 years old. Cameron is the president of the Ontario Autism Coalition. She's also an epidemiologist.
We know from these large population-level studies that there's no link.
This study, released by the American Medical Association Journal, investigated use of acetaminophen during pregnancy among nearly 2.5 million children in Sweden. Analysis that didn't include siblings found marginally increased risks. Analysis that did include siblings found acetaminophen use during pregnancy was not associated with children's risk of autism, ADHD, or intellectual disability.
It is the most safe and effective pain reliever we have for pregnant women. It's also used sometimes to reduce fever, which in pregnancy can be very dangerous to the fetus.
Kalura is taking the day's news in stride.
Our main focus should be on the supports and the therapies and supporting our children of all needs and abilities.
Christina Klura asked that we share this quote with Canadian families who may be struggling on this day. She says, "Autism is a journey I never expected, but I sure do love my tour guide." Omar.
Luca, clearly so full of light. Adrian, thank you. Fans of Jimmy Kimmel are waiting to see what he will say when he returns to the air tomorrow, nearly a week after ABC-owned Disney yanked his show off the air. Disney now saying the move to bring him back comes after days of thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, adding that his show was suspended last week to avoid further inflaming a tense situation, and calling Kimmel's comments after conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination ill-timed and thus insensitive. Today, ABC's The View finally addressed the controversy.
The government cannot apply pressure to force someone to be silenced.
Disney and ABC pulled Kimmel off the air after pressure from the Trump-appointed chairman of the U.S. broadcast regulator and two major television ownership groups. One of those, Sinclair, which owns dozens of ABC stations, previously said it would not air Kimmel's show unless he apologized to Kirk's family and made a donation to the organization he founded, Turning Point USA. Tonight, Sinclair says it still has no plans to air it, writing it will be preempting it as it evaluates the show's potential return. Canada today joined a global chorus of countries recognizing a Palestinian state, a move that has drawn condemnation from the United States and Israel, who say the decision rewards terrorists. Israel, meanwhile, escalated its war in Gaza with new strikes. Among those found in the rubble, a 5-year-old girl who died. CTV's Judy Trin reports tonight from the United Nations in New York.
As the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly opens, growing support for Palestinian statehood dominates the agenda.
Nothing justifies the ongoing war in Gaza. Nothing. On the contrary, everything compels us to definitively end it, since we didn't do it earlier.
3 G7 nations, Britain, France, and Canada, are recognizing the state of Palestine to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza.
Canada recognizes the state of Palestine.
While the Prime Minister spoke, Israel's representative at the UN left his seat empty.
We will not take part in this charade.
Since the October 7th attacks, Gaza has been decimated. Nearly 2 million people have been displaced, while settler violence in the West Bank has increased.
We call for a permanent ceasefire.
Mahmoud Abbas appeared via video after the U.S. denied him a visa. The Prime Minister says Canada and like-minded countries will work with the Palestinian Authority, but Hamas will have no role in governance.
Recognizing the state of Palestine, led by the Palestinian Authority, empowers those who seek peaceful coexistence and the end of Hamas. It doesn't legitimize terrorism. And in no way does it compromise Canada's steadfast support for the State of Israel.
More than 150 nations now recognize Palestine, but this is a move that will strain relations with Israel.
When Canada takes an unprecedented stance, moving away from being a constructive player in the Middle East to one that is joining a choir, this is a moment when Canada has to understand that it will become less relevant for Israel.
This will also strain Canada's relationship with the U.S., the only permanent member of the UN Security Council that has not recognized Palestine. It also has veto power. President Donald Trump will address the UN General Assembly Tuesday. Omar.
All right, Judy, thank you. CTV News has learned that former Assembly of First Nations National Chief Phil Fontaine has been accused of sexually assaulting a student in the 70s. Fontaine is named in a lawsuit filed in Manitoba in May as the co-defendant and perpetrator who allegedly sexually assaulted the plaintiff, who was a child and former student, during a school trip that he arranged and led along with the Saugeen First Nation Education Authority. The authority denies Fontaine was ever an employee and is calling for the suit to be dismissed. CTV News reached out to Fontaine for comment and did not hear back by deadline. He has not yet filed a statement of defense, and none of the claims has been tested in court. An Ontario MPP has been kicked out of the Progressive Conservative caucus after he was charged with assault. Here's what the province's premier had to say about it today.
I would go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I was informed literally in the parking lot as we're going through here. And go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I don't want to interfere in a police investigation.
Sault Ste. Marie MPP Chris Scott was charged with assault and assault with a weapon following a joint investigation by Toronto and Sault Ste. Marie Police. The 35-year-old is in his first term in office and was released on bail. New video and witness accounts are raising troubling questions about the fatal police shooting of a BC teen with autism 7 months ago.
I believe that the RCMP misunderstood behaviors characteristic to autism as threatening.
15-year-old Chase de Ballenhard was shot after police received a call about a person in distress with a firearm. His parents say it was an unloaded pellet gun, but because they say he functioned more like a 10-year-old, he didn't have the capacity to understand the danger police posed. Witnesses say the situation was not handled appropriately.
The cops are up there fist bumping each other and laughing and joking. It's like, holy shit, man, you just killed a kid, right?
The RCMP says it cannot comment during the investigation. And you can watch part 1 of the series Lost in Translation by CTV's Reagan Hasegawa at ctvnews.ca/Vancouver.
He grew up here, and to think he was shot at where he grew up is kind of crazy.
I was shocked, don't know what to do. I can't even breathe when I heard this.
And friends and family are mourning the loss of 15-year-old Nouran Razahi, who was shot and killed by police in Longueuil, Quebec yesterday. The provincial police watchdog is investigating. Calgary is grappling with a grim milestone. Fatal car crashes have hit a 10-year high, prompting police to take action. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee.
The wreckage, a physical reminder of unrelenting grief for those impacted. In Calgary last year, 29 people lost their lives in a crash, breaking a 10-year record. So far this year, 27 died, on pace to break that record.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Calgary drivers are showing a lot of impatience.
The fatal crashes prompting Calgary police and city officials to launch a campaign.
I was in the left turn lane.
Educating people about the dangers of reckless driving by telling the stories of a deadly accident from different perspectives.
The trend cannot continue the way that it has, and that takes everyone's responsibility.
Speeding is a factor in 30% of the fatal crashes, but police say no single cause is responsible for the surge.
There are more people on the roads. I think people are feeling more pressure to get to places quickly. People's minds are distracted when they're driving.
City officials also doing their part, such as identifying hotspots where there are high collision trends.
Piloting the use of artificial intelligence so that we can do some predictive modeling of where collisions are happening and how we can tackle those.
Some Calgary drivers have other ideas.
More ghost vehicles, maybe.
The campaign launch comes after the province's decision to end the use of photo radar on provincial highways and limit their use in cities except for school, playground, and construction zones. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Potentially only hours left in the months-long fight to save a herd of ostriches on a BC farm. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has arrived to carry out a cull after an avian flu outbreak. But as CTV's BC Bureau Chief Andrew Johnson reports, the farm and its supporters are not giving up hope.
It's the day they have dreaded at Universal Ostrich Farm.
Today was shocking to see the RCMP that are supposed to protect us drive in like this is a war.
After a 9-month court battle, dozens of RCMP officers drove in Monday morning with staff from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
Our primary role is to keep the peace and to enforce the law if necessary.
The CFIA is in legal position to cull the close to 400 birds after the farm lost its appeal in August. The agency has maintained even though the ostriches appear healthy, they could still spread a unique and more lethal strain of the avian influenza virus. And if they are not killed, the virus could mutate and become more infectious to mammals, including humans.
These big, beautiful birds are going to be darted, and these big, beautiful birds are going to fall to their knees, and they will not get another sunrise or another sunset.
The outbreak last December killed 69 of the ostriches. Hundreds more survived, and the farm says the survivors haven't been tested. have scientific value and should be saved.
Policy is not law. Policy is meant to change and it's meant to evolve. These animals definitely don't deserve to die.
They've attracted support in the U.S. from the Trump administration, including Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Mehmet Oz. The farm says its lawyer is preparing emergency legal action while it applies to be heard by the Supreme Court of Canada. Supporters here are staying hopeful.
I get mad and I get sad, right?
The CFIA isn't responding to our requests for comment. The farm says it has been told the agency needs some time to set up here. Then the ostriches could be killed in the next day or two. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Edgewood, BC.
Coming up.
Our users are saving anywhere from about $50 to $100 per week for families.
How a Canadian student's invention uses AI to cut costs at the grocery store. Plus, why the CFL says its new rules will be a real game changer. Police in Fredericton are warning of a significant spike in drug overdoses, including more than a dozen in just a day. CTV's Sarah Plowman on what's behind the surge.
With a test, Mark knows the fentanyl he bought is fentanyl.
That's definitely a good sign.
He didn't want to show his face, but wants to be understood.
Why is it that you use?
My big thing, honestly, is that it's pain management.
He's 38, homeless, and a widower, and says he was hit by a car more than 2 years ago.
I don't think anybody asked for this. You really, it's not like you wake up one day and you want to be dependent on anything, right? So, especially a substance.
Mark says he's overdosed 5 times.
It happens so fast that it's hard to ever almost react to it.
Police are also reacting. Last week, there was a significant spike in overdose calls.
To have 13 overdoses in a 24-hour period in the city the size of Fredericton is not a normal amount of overdoses.
No one died, but police say there have been 6 overdose deaths in the city this year, and they've received dozens more calls compared to last year.
We've noted that toxicity levels recently could be increasing.
Mark thinks he had some of the fentanyl that led to overdoses last week. He considered it strong, but didn't need medical attention.
It affects people differently, I guess. I don't know.
Still, he wants people to be safe.
Regardless whether it's a quality thing or just bad cut, I think you should probably heed the warning.
Fredericton police say they're committed to removing toxic and harmful drugs off the streets, noting they've seized $200,000 worth this year. But also note people shouldn't fear calling 911 if someone's overdosing, because their priority is to save lives, not to charge someone. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
And still ahead. How a new AI-powered app helps Canadians save on groceries. A University of Waterloo student is using AI to help families save money at the grocery store. CTV's Heather Senerin shows us how.
Canada's food price report predicted that the average family of 4 would spend about $16,000 a year on groceries in 2025. But this University of Waterloo student is hoping to put a dent in the affordability crisis.
People can't really control like their car insurance or their rent or their utilities, but grocery bills felt like something we could actually tackle.
Henrietta Van Niekerk took money earned from a pitch contest and various other programs to create Scrimp, your very own AI sous chef and shopping assistant.
From flyer to meal plan to actionable list of items that you can buy, Scrimp uses AI to sort of connect all of these things for you so that grocery shopping and affordability becomes like a really easy 3-click process to solve. $2.92 to make this meal.
She says the savings could be big.
Our users are saving anywhere from about $50 to $100 per week for families.
And it's specifically catered to the user. All it needs is the family size, store preferences, and dietary requirements.
We try and buy gluten-free and mostly dairy-free if possible.
This mom of 2 says it's been a game changer at the checkout.
It's pretty easy to use, user-friendly, very straightforward.
Her favorite part is the unique recipe ideas. Tonight's dinner will be chicken shawarma.
The recipes were, not causing me to go and find 11 different ingredients and things that I probably would never use again.
I may see olive oil and say, no, I have that at home.
Van Niekerk says Scrimp is proof AI can be used for good.
Ethical AI instead is showing that there can be this coming together of human ingenuity and what the AI can provide, which is also why Scrimp doesn't make their own recipes. We actually use recipes that exist on the internet.
Right now, it's only available for users in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, but the goal is to expand throughout Canada so more people can cash in on the savings. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Still ahead, fair or foul? How fans are reacting to major changes coming to the CFL. Some bold new changes are on the way for the CFL, set to take place over the next 2 seasons. CTV's Rahim Ladani breaks down the new rules and the fan reaction.
And now looks to throw over the top, in the air, on the money!
Canadian football has always defined itself by bigger fields, deeper end zones, and unique rules. But starting next season, the league is tweaking that formula and will look a lot more like the NFL.
Absolutely no percentage of these changes were made because of any type of comparison to the NFL.
While the commissioner insists he loves the Canadian game, 2 of the biggest changes that will come in 2027 align with American football. The goalposts, which currently sit at the front of the end zone, will be pushed back, and the field will be shortened down to 100 yards. The end zones are also shrinking, but will remain 5 yards deeper than the NFL.
The goal is to have the best game possible, right? And I believe we have that right now. And then I believe we also are improving on that. So regardless of what it might look like, you know, to others is part and parcel, right, to, you know, how people take it.
Other changes that are meant to encourage offense will start next season. There will be a new 35-second play clock, benches on opposite sides, and a modified rouge that eliminates points for missed field goals sailing wide.
Kick is up, it's clear of the hands. Oh! Missed it, but it's out the back. We're going to OT.
Online, many CFL fans are expressing outrage, from describing the changes as garbage to saying it destroys what makes the league Canadian. And some say they're done watching.
It's kind of dumb that they're trying to be like everyone else, and instead of sticking to the CFL, they're trying to act like the NFL, see if they can get more money. But I think it's kind of bullcrap in my opinion.
However, others see this as a step forward.
There's going to be CFL people that are diehards. No, they're trying to make it an American game. They're not. They're trying to make the game actually better.
A toss-up between modernizing for the future or fumbling away tradition. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
And that's a snapshot of this Monday. For all of us at CTV National News, thank you for watching. Good night. And to all of our viewers celebrating the Jewish New Year, Shana Tova. See you tomorrow.